What's up? It's me. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I am gone. Show you how to level up your gameplay with an epic brand new shop in This is part 2 of a series where we are taking our gameplay to the next level by building something cool. And if you want to join in and learn alongside me, then make sure you have the Create mod installed. You can find the download link below. These are super useful and allow you to drop items into them, and they will automatically sort them into different chests. First, we grab a chest, and then right-click on it with a redstone item. To do this, we create a 1 block wide space above the machine, and then place a dropper at the top of that with a redstone connection leading into it. To do this, we create a loop of conveyor belts around the outside of the room and connect it to each of the chests. When an item is placed into a chest, it will activate the comparator, which will activate the conveyor belt. You'll also notice that each conveyor belt has a different speed. This is because each one is connected to a different redstone signal, which can be adjusted to control the speed. This is really useful if you want to sell items with custom names such as tools or weapons. This is really cool because it allows you to give your shop a unique look and feel. To do this, we create a loop of signs around the outside of the room and connect it to each of the item collectors. Then we create a separate loop of signs around the chests. When an item collector detects that it's carrying an item, the sign will activate and display the name of the item. To do this, we create a loop of name tags around the outside of the room and connect it to each of the conveyor belts. Then we create a separate loop of name tags around the chests and connect it to each of the conveyor belts. When a conveyor belt detects that it's carrying an item, the name tag will activate and rename the item. We can also use these signals to control the direction of the conveyor belt by placing a repeater and adjusting the signal with a lever. As you can see, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time. There is a lot you can do with the Create mod, and it's really up to your imagination to come up with new and creative ways to use it. When you place an item on the top of the machine, to do this, we're going to create a loop of item collectors around the outside of the room and connect it to each of the conveyor belts. When an item passes over the item collector, it will be collected and added to the player's inventory. You'll also notice that each item collector has a different name. This is because each one is connected to a different chest, so the item collector will display the name of the chest instead of the item. This makes it easy for the player to know which chest they're collecting from. The observer will detect it and activate the redstone from here. You can expand and add more features like automatic restocking, item renaming. If you want to see a full tutorial on how to make this entire shop, then let me know in the comments below, which will cause the dropper to activate as well. One of the first things I want to show you is how to make an automatic restocking system. This is really cool because it allows you to automatically restock your shop whenever it runs out of items. To do this, we create a loop of observers around the outside of the room. Then we create a separate loop of observers around the chests and connect it to each of the item collectors. When an item collector detects that it's empty, the observer will activate and send a signal to the chest to restock. Then when the dropper activates, it will drop the item onto the conveyor belt and travel down the machine. To keep the item from falling off the sides, we're gonna place some blocks along the sides to act as walls for the conveyor belt. Next, we take our mouse and hold down the shift key. It will automatically sort itself and drop down onto the conveyor belt. All that's left to do is connect it to our power source. This could be anything like a renewable energy source, a battery, or even a redstone battery. But for this example, I'm going to use a lava generator. The lava generator is great because it's very efficient and produces a ton of lava, which we can use to power everything. All we need to do is connect the output of the lava generator to the input of the first comparator, and everything should activate. Now, when we put an item into the machine, it should automatically sort itself and drop into the correct chest. Now we need to set up the actual sorting system where the items get divided up into their respective chests. To do this, we create a row of comparators along the conveyor belt with redstone leading into each one. Each comparator will be connected to a different chest. So when an item passes over the comparator, it will trigger the redstone and open up the corresponding chest. You'll also notice that each chest has a different item in it. This is because each comparator has a slightly different signal strength depending on how far away from the source the redstone is. You can use this to your advantage to create different signals that lead to different places, while hovering over the top of the chest and then drag down into the crafting grid. This will turn it into a hopper, and we can repeat the process on the front side to turn that into a chest. Now, we want this just to be a normal chest. So instead of putting a lid on top, make sure it is facing towards the top of the hopper, and then we add a redstone torch underneath. Now when we put an item into the hopper, you'll see that the observer gets powered and then depowered again when we take it out. We can use this power to power other things like another observer or a redstone lamp to let us know when there's an item in the chest. We're going to be building something similar to what you see on screen here. Now, this is a very advanced build, and it took quite a while to put together. So if you want to skip ahead to where I show you how to make one yourself, then check the timestamps below. For this, we're going to use some scaffolding planks and a few different blocks to build the frame. You can use whatever block you want, but try to make it look somewhat decent. Moving along, we start connecting some redstone from the top of the machine down to the bottom with observers, spaced in between to detect when there are items being placed inside. Redstone can go through certain blocks like glass, so we can use that to our advantage to connect everything. but I do recommend sticking around for the whole video, because I am going to show you some of the features that you might not have known about within the Create mod. Starting off, we're going to need some storage and organization systems in place. So let us start off by building a simple chest sorter. Moving along, we're going to make a more permanent structure and start building the main part of the machine. Next, make a simple dropper system. So far, we've created a system where when you place an item on the top of the machine, now that we have our sorting system set up. Moving along, build a simple conveyor belt system that will transport items from the chests to the player. Finally, we're going to set up a simple inventory system, so the player can collect the items from the conveyor belts. And that's pretty much it for the basic shop setup. Moving along, show you some of the advanced features that you can add to your shop to make it even more epic. Another cool thing you can do is rename items on the fly. Finally, one of the coolest things you can do is add custom signs to your shop. That's all for this video.